Aloha, Rich Halverson here, and this is ICS321. And in this video, I'm going to show you what you should hand in for your project on November 27th, and what you should hand in on December 11th, and then what you should hand in on the 18th. And I'm going to use as an example the example project that I created and talked about in the last few videos. So let me share my screen. And so here's the assignments page, and I'm done updating this thing. So this is what it looks like now. And so look at video 1 and video 2 to install the sample project. See, there's a sample project down here, right here. You can watch these videos. Video 1 and 2 talk about the project. Video 1 talks about the project and demonstrates my sample project. Video 2 shows you how to take my sample project code and install it onto your computer, onto your server, and you can use that as a to start your project if you want, or just to get it working. You're going to want to copy some parts of it because of what I've sort of more or less added as requirements down here. There's my project deals with the film in the Sakila database. And if you look at the Sakila database, look at the structure right here. My project is a set of APIs that deals with the film, adding, deleting, and updating the film, which also includes connecting the film to a category and connecting a film to a bunch of actors, and also specifying the language of the film. That's what my APIs do. And so this one, video 3 describes deleting a film. Video 4 describes adding a film to your database, and video 5 describes updating a film. Video 6, which will be this video when I'm done with this video, and you're able to see it when you go to this page. This will be a link, which will be a link to this video. And you have something due on the 27th, something due on December 11th, and something due on December 18th. Okay. And so this video here is also a video for the other folks that are going to help me grade your assignment, to see what I say is due, or pretty much constitutes what is expected in the assignments. So the assignment is to create an API that interfaces to the Sakila database, and the database is available here, and the structure is here. And I also include the database down here too, and you'll install a second copy of the database, and that's what the sample code messes with, and that's what your code should mess with also. The minimum requirements, I've changed the minimum requirements a little bit here. You should take some subset of the database and create an API or set of APIs to insert, delete, and update that data. Your API should return a JSON object that contains whatever was asked for. Your JSON object should also contain the request array, the name value pairs that invoked the API, and you'll see all of that in the videos 3, 4, and 5. You'll see a lot of that. You see how that is, and in the code, it's very easy to include that and just throw that in. And then I'd also like your JSON to return a list of the SQL statements that were executed by your API. And you'll see in the example videos, that's very easy to include, and you just include that too. And when your JSON object appears, you're able to see those there. Now, internally, your API should perform a function or two requiring access to multiple tables, more than one, not just the film table. For example, in mine, the main thing I'm accessing is the film table, but also it involves accessing this table and this table, which connects it to the actors, and this table connects it to the category, and so on. So it should access more than one table. You know, but it may not have to update. You know, I mean, here we're dealing with films, and you'll see later on that I've excluded updating actors, and I've excluded updating categories because that can get kind of complicated. You'll see how I progress to that point in the assignments here. And so when you want to display out a list of films, for example, and you want the list to include the actors, you're going to join the actor table with something which joins to the film table, and that's included. And so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, where these APIs should be just complicated enough so you got to do something like that. Okay, it doesn't just deal with one table; it deals with one table plus connecting to another table, and that's so you get joining or subquerying or having to do two things at once, or that kind of thing. Just a little bit of sophistication. And your API should be able to be invoked using a URL. You'll see all that, and you should design some kind of client, HTML client, to be able to demonstrate it or test it. It can be bare bones, or it can be fancy. If you want it to be fancy, that can be part of your grade. Fanciness here counts towards your grade. So I just want you to, show what you can do. Now, there's this additional requirement here where there should be some kind of cool feature, some kind of feature that's a little bit hard. And the idea here is that if you can work alone or a group of two or a group of three, and if you work with two members, you should have at least one unique thing, one cool thing, and I'll tell you what those are, because I have two in mind, which you've seen already, and you'll see it's not that big a deal. If you have a 3-member group, there should be at least a couple things. In mine, I've put in a couple things. I've made the main thing that I would have handed in more simple so I could make one of the things cool, defined as cool, and you'll see that. All right, so that's a requirement. Okay, so by November 27th, I just want you to hand in a description of your project idea, okay? And attach a short video, just saying hello, and so I can see who's in your group. And by the way, this can change, this is dynamic. But as far as November 27th is concerned, by the way, November 27th is a Wednesday, so we probably won't get to this till 28th, 29th, 30, the Monday afterwards. So if you end up spilling into the weekend, that's fine. We probably won't get to it right away until probably the Monday. So just make a short video, which so we can see who you are and say who your name is, and that's really all you got to do. Or you can say, I'm in this project with these guys, and we do that. It's just like how it sounds. It's for identity verification, and because this is an online course, we got to have something somewhere, sometime, where we can connect you to who you are. Okay, so that's basically what that is. And then to get you started, deciding what you're going to do, and then I'll put that text down here. In fact, I'll put that text in right now. So for my Wednesday, November 27th assignment, something like this would work. It's there. Something like this, okay? This is a Sakila Film Manager application, and you've seen this demonstrated already in previous videos, okay? In these videos right here, this one here, you can go click on that one. It's pretty short, shows you what I'm doing. And I will say in this so I can actually, why don't I like preview this? And so this is what it would look like handed in. In this project, we will create an API and a client for maintaining the film portion of the Sakila database. This is my submission for November 27th. Okay, this is my November 27th submission. And I'm imagining I'm working with 2 other people. Oh, I have down here working with 3 other people. Oh no. Okay, so I added too many names here. I got to take away one of these names. Me so I'll fix that. But project so let me fix it right. There's only 2 people in my project. Me, John Doe, and Jane Roe. I generally me and John Doe. Me and John Doe will work on the API. Will work the API, and this 3rd person, Jude Moe, will work on the client. Okay, so there. Three of us. And I say that it will be able to add, update, and delete a film. The user will be able to add new actors to the actors table. So in this initial thing, I'm saying we can delete and update a film, and that can include adding new actors to the actors table. Okay, that's what I'm claiming I'm going to do now. The user will not be able to add new categories or languages. Okay, so that puts a limit on it. The cool functions will be the update function will implement optimistic concurrency for handling if 2 users want to update at the same time. Okay, so if you've seen the second to the last video or the last video that I made, I talk about what the steps I have to go through to implement optimistic concurrency, and that's pretty difficult. In lots of cases, you don't need to go that far because there is only going to be one person. One person's job it is to do that. You're not going to have 2 people. It's not really going to be a web application where the public can come in and do stuff. It'll be more of a internal thing. So, but in this case, I'm going to implement optimistic concurrency just because it's a cool thing, and you've seen that already in the video. The second thing, which you've already seen in the video also, cool thing is adding a film involves specifying the actors and the category for the film. You recall in the film table, there's no mention of actors and there's no mention of a category. Okay, there are additional tables which connect the film table to the actor table and the film table to the category table. But my form is going to have it there where you can, when you're adding in a new film, you can add the new actors right then and there, and you can add the category right then and there. So that's a cool thing. It makes it a little bit more difficult. So instead of specifying the actor and the categories on separate forms, the user will be able to add the film category and the actors for that film on the same form for adding or updating all the other film attributes found in the film table. Like the cost of replacing it, how long it is, when it was produced, and all that kind of stuff. My group will consist of 3 people: me, John Doe, and we're going to work on the API, and our 3rd partner, Jude Moe, is going to work on the client. So here's an example of where there might be one of you that doesn't feel very strong with SQL. That's okay. There's a place for you. You can jazz up the client and make your project look nice if you are able to do that. My project code is in, or I should say, our project code is in a passworded directory named this, and it's at this location. And I showed you that earlier. So you go to that URL and you should be able to see my code. And this is my username and my password for getting in because I've passworded this. So you should password yours and give me a username and give me a password where I can get in, or where the folks that are helping me grade can get in. Okay, and then I also mentioned the API will access these tables. So I say specifically what the tables are that my API is going to access. And this is all tentative, this can change. And then I say what my final video is going to demonstrate, and it kind of just, something in adding a film with something in every film with actors and the category, demonstrating that, demonstrating optimistic concurrency when updating, and demonstrating when deleting, and I showed you that in the film, in the video where I talk about the delete film API, and then a visual scan of the code. Okay, so this is my submission, and it's not like I'm going to be held to it. It's that I've thought about it, and this is what we're going to do. We have a plan, and we at this point are ready to commit to giving this our best shot. Okay, so that's what I want to see by November 27th. Now let's go back, and let's say it's December 11th, and I'm getting closer. So my December 11th submission is going to look more like this. And I tell you what, I'm just going to, because I kind of want to keep this there, I'm going to add a little line here. And I'm going to say this is going to be my December 11th assignment submission is going to be this. And that would be something more like this. See, so I've thought about it a little more now. But basically we're coding, okay? We're coding away, and we're getting there. In fact, maybe we're done already. I don't know. This shouldn't, after you get going, you get a couple sittings and you got most of it done. So this is a Film Manager APIs assignment 2. Okay, this is December 11th submission. My project code is in a passworded directory. Got to put that there. It's got to be current. My project is broken down into 3 forms, each accessing their own API. Okay, so what I've done is I've figured out that, well, one API could do it all on one API, but to break up the work a little bit or whatever, easier to manage, I'm gonna have a separate API for each of these functions. No problem. So I say I've got the add. So now I actually have a add form to exercise the add API. I have got a delete form to exercise the delete API, and I've got an update form to exercise the update API. At this point, it would be nice if I could click on these things and actually see them. But the idea is that you should be. It would be nice if we could click on these, but it's not completely necessary. You can still get all the points. I identify specifically which tables I'm going to access and how I'm going to access them. And so I list all those, and they're the same as before, except for I specifically say, and notice I'm only going to read the actors, okay? Films can have many actors, and actors can be in many films, so the film actor table contains these connections. Okay, we already know that. Updating a film can modify these connections, but will not modify the actor table. Okay, so we have removed the requirement that new actors could be added. When we started working on this, we started thinking, oh, okay, if we can add actors, well, we have to be able to update actors too, because what if you add an actor and you spell the name wrong, or you add an actor and you realize, oh, gee, I spelled the name wrong, and oh, the actor's already in there, and you got to be able to delete actors. So if you have to, and so that starts to get more complicated. And then how do you put all that in one form? And we're going, oh, gee, we bit off more than we can chew. No problem. Just we're saying it here. Okay, we've gotten farther along, and we say we're just going to take that out. Someone else can manage the actors. Someone else is managing the categories. That's higher up. That's above my pay grade. I'm just going to deal with the film. If there's an actor there that's not in there, if there's an actor in the film that's not in there that should be in there, I'll go talk to the guy that's managing the actors. Okay, so this is the film thing, and then I specify that pretty much the same thing. Adding, I've thought about it, and I'm going to make a film, adding a new film with every actors, and actors and categories are also specified. updating the film where tables connecting to actors and categories get updated. Table maintenance, yeah, okay. Updating implements optimistic concurrency. Deleting a film, I said this earlier, and then a brief scan of what was submitted. Okay, you know, that's pretty much for my December 11th submission. The idea is that that we're coding away. Okay, we know what we're going to do. You aren't going to be held to what you said on November 27th. You're not going to be held to that hardly at all. In fact, you can change the whole project if you want to. You say, oh, I don't want to do you know let's say you're going to deal with stores that have inventory, and oh, I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with customers. Let's deal with customers. And you might do something like that. That's perfectly fine. But by December 11th, you should be well on your way to coding things. And so if we can preview that. And so I left this up here. Why don't you leave that up there? Put the second part down here. And this is good. This all the point. We will give you all the points for this. We'll give you all the points for this. And then the last submission will be a video which looks very much like this first video here. And I'm probably gonna do another video between now and around December 11th or so, or later on to fine tune that, because as with all these things, it's important that when I give you an assignment, that I give you assignment that you can do. Okay, it doesn't do anybody any good if I give you assignment that sounds real great, but you don't finish it because it's just too hard and too long, and you say, oh, forget it, can't do it. So that's why I like to do it first. And so I do it. I realize what's difficult. I think I'm a pretty good coder and everything. I realize what's difficult, so then I scale it back, and so I give you the assignment. And that's going to probably continue a little bit. If you say you're going to do something and you figure out you can't do it, just mention it. That's what you do. You say, well, we said we're going to do this, but we ran into trouble, so we're not going to do that. And that just tells me that you're keeping up with things, and that's what you would have to do if you're dealing with a customer or a client also. So I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing what you hand in on November 27th. And if you have any questions, just email me, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.